Hey, welcome back to Red Blue Labs. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about sudo, and specifically how if we don't use it appropriately, it can actually lead to quite a few headaches in our system, mainly allowing users to have more access to things than they should. Now, I've got a sort of a lab example here where I'm going to be exploiting VIM in my operating system. Um, Now, before we get into that, if you want to go and just jump right to the exploit of Vim, go look in the description of the video, and you'll see that that's where you can jump right to that part. But I want to talk just briefly about the dangers of sudo if it's not used appropriately. So now, for those who don't know, sudo is a way that we can actually run commands as a elevated or a user with higher privileges than the current account. So now in this case, I've got a user and they can't do very much. Well, we can check to see what the user can do. If I run sudo-l and then put my password in, it's going to go and tell me what can the current user do when they use the command sudo. And so in this case, the user Frank can actually call on the application Vim. Okay, and in a moment here we're going to actually see an exploit for Vim. Now this might not seem like much. Like, who cares that Frank can use Vim? But the problem is that Frank can use Vim as root at an elevated privileges. So what that means really is that when I open up Vim, I use sudo and I use Vim, I can create a text file that is able to run at a root level. And that's where the problem is, because the particular version of Vim that's running on this operating system here is actually vulnerable to a pretty simple to do exploit, and we're going to see it in action here. So let's go through, and Frank can't really do anything. The only thing in sudo that he can do is use this application. Let's try to switch the user and switch user to root. It's going to ask for the password, and we're pretending right now that we don't know the password, so we'll put in anything here, and it's going to check to see if that matches, and it doesn't. So we have an authentication error. Good. That's what we should have. We shouldn't be allowing regular users to connect to the root account. Okay. However, as we've talked about before now, we know that Frank can use this application. Let's make sure, see what we got in here. Who am I? We're Frank. Let's go ahead and sudo vim stuff.txt. Now, watch closely, because in here we're going to be opening up this random text document that I've got here, and we're going to put a command in there, and it's going to do something quite interesting. For those who are familiar with Vim, we want to go to the command, and we're going to go colon, exclamation, / bin sh. And so this is a shell command. We're attempting to open a shell in Vim. Now, I'm just going to hit enter here and watch what happens. We exit, and our shell is different looking. So remember, we did who am I when we were just as the user. Let's do who am I now. And we're root. So it's very quick. And we saw something, well, I think is quite interesting. But we elevated that Vim to drop us into a root shell. Okay, so from here we could do whatever we want. We could do change the root password, right? We could install applications. We could modify the firewall. Anything the root can do now, we are able to do. So this is a very simple demonstration of what is the power of sudo. And we really have to be vigilant and pay attention to what are we allowing users to do with sudo. Okay. Alright, hey, if you're enjoying my videos, please go ahead and like and subscribe. That would be great. And we'll talk to you soon. Bye.